Let's begin with the breaking news and bring in NBC News senior political editor Mark Murray. Mark wrote today's big story, Anger on Their Minds. Mark, welcome to you. What strikes you as the bigger theme here? Is it anger on the minds of voters? Is it polarization in the way that a majority on each side sees the other's agenda as an existential threat to America? Or is it both?
It's all of the above, Alex. And yes, that polarization as well as anger really did strike us. And in addition to the numbers where we had 8 in 10 voters on each side saying that the opposition poses a threat that would destroy America, that we also asked an open-ended question like, what message do you want to send with your vote? And we also saw anger there, too. A Republican respondent said, tell Biden to resign. Another Republican respondent said, save America. You know, that's the Donald Trump type of rejoinder. And then Democrats ended up saying, save democracy. Another Democrat ended up saying, don't mess with my reproductive rights. And so we're seeing from both Democrats and Republicans a high level of polarization as well as a high level of anger.
And a high level of interest, because voter interest in the midterms, it is off the chart. It's at 70%. You called this an eye popper. And compare it to past congressional elections, 57% say this one is more important. 37% say it's equally important. Does this mean you're expecting high voter turnout, Mark? And which side would that favor?
Yeah, we were expecting off the charts turnout, Alex. And to put that 70% high interest into perspective, when we asked this question back in 2018, October of 2018, when we ended up seeing unprecedented midterm turnout, it was at 65%. Now it's at 70%. And it just kind of shows you that the Trump and post-Trump era, what it has done is energize voters on both sides of the aisle and has created huge turnout we saw in 2018, huge turnout in the 2020 presidential election, and we're expecting record turnout in the 2022 midterm elections. But when we actually look at what party is maybe a little bit more energized, Alex, you know, in the last couple of surveys right after the Dobbs opinion on overturning Roe versus Wade, we saw Democrats catch up to Republicans in the enthusiasm where it was about even. But now our poll shows Republicans with a 9-point advantage in high election interest. And that to us is striking. And it does conform with other polls out there showing that Republicans have the slight enthusiasm edge as we head into November.
Yeah, and that certainly can affect the way in-person voting, mail voting happens right now. But day of voting, it could change given the next few days and what we have ahead of us. Let me dig into one particular number. This one moves, Mark, in tiny increments every week. You have 46% preferring Republicans to control Congress. Compare that to 47% of Democrats. So it really comes down to that 7%. Look at the question mark there. They just aren't sure. And among those who prefer Republicans, 59% are for a GOP-controlled Congress, 39% are against Democrats controlling Congress. And then among those who prefer the Democrats to control, 48% are for Democrats to control. But this number, 52% are against a Republican-controlled Congress. Put this whole thing into perspective for us, this particular pro-against mindset.
Yeah. So one, Alex, when it comes to just congressional preference, this is a really competitive race where Democrats have a 1-point advantage among registered voters. When we look at a smaller group of likely voters, Republicans have the 1-point edge. And again, it's worth pointing out this is a national poll. It's not a state poll. The race for the House will be fought congressional district by congressional district. The race for the Senate will be fought state by state, and key battleground Senate race versus key battleground Senate race. But it does show you that this is all stacking up to be a very competitive election. And then, of course, when you get to the motivation side of things, you end up getting a sense where the anger and I think a lot of the energy coming from Democrats right now is mixed between, hey, we want to defeat Republicans versus we want to support Biden and the Democratic agenda. And sometimes you have to actually have whatever message works. And we are seeing one of the big energies that we're seeing from Democrats right now is, hey, we need to stop Republicans from gaining control of the House of Representatives and the Senate. you.